Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is BHAMBRA here for PSB Sports. I'm very happy to be joined now on the line from America by 5-0 Commonwealth Heavyweight Champion, the Juggernaut, Joyce. Joe, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, mate.
Good to I'm doing good, thank you, Joe. Doing very good, Joe. Joe, firstly, I think one place only to start. You've obviously linked up now with Abel Sanchez out in Big Bear in California. Joe, firstly, what's the reasons you decided to choose Abel as your next trainer, and what actually happened with Abel Salas as well?
Well, he's training Farhad, the sheikh from Doha, and so yeah, I had to look for a new coach, and I thought Abel Sanchez would be a really good fit, considering he trains Golovkin, and I quite like his Golovkin style. I think it would help improve mine.
Absolutely, for sure. And obviously, I know you haven't been with Abel for long, but how's everything going at the moment with him?
Yeah, it's going really well. I'm getting a lot fitter. I've been training, running every morning, training up in the mountains, and doing two hardcore sessions, and training 6 days a week. I'm just, on the weekends, I get a chance to travel down to LA and stuff like that, and just have a bit of a rest, and then I'm back up here now, so I'll be back on it tomorrow morning, 6 a.m.
Wow, yeah, I mean, sounds good. I mean, obviously, I know a lot of fighters typically go to Big Bear for that high altitude training. So for you, Joe, personally, what's it like training in the high altitude?
Yeah, it's tough. Like the first week was tough. Getting used to the new climate, and I don't know, just getting my fitness right back up there again.
Absolutely, definitely, and obviously, Abel has his own stable of fighters as well. He obviously trains Gennady Golovkin. He just trained Murat Gasayev, who obviously fought in the World Boxing Super Series cruiserweight final against Usyk. So, I mean, I know you're a very experienced boxer in general with the experience you've had in WSB and the amateur scene. But obviously, what's it like training, amongst, experienced veterans in the game like Golovkin?
Yeah, it's really nice to be a part of like a team, a stable of high level fighters, and obviously we rub off each other, and we go through the same hardships in training together. So it's it's good camaraderie.
Definitely, and obviously, in terms of your camps, I know the Haymaker gym is obviously in London, but I mean, how are you going to be spending your camps, Joe? Are you going to split time with the US and London, or are you going to be in California permanently?
I'll probably be out here in Big Bear training, and then obviously fly back to London or wherever for the fights.
Okay, fair enough. And obviously, last weekend, Joe, at the O2 Arena, there was a massive heavyweight event there with Dillian Whyte and Joseph Parker. Did you manage to watch the fight, and what was your thoughts on it?
Well, I was just driving. I think I was driving down from Big Bear, so I only got like the updates from Twitter. We tried to get a live feed, to stream it or something, but managed to watch the highlights and that. Saw the massive knockouts on that night, and it would have been a great show to be there and be amongst that action.
Definitely, of course, and obviously, White beat Parker, Chisora knocked out Takam. Obviously, Joshua's penciling to fight Povetkin. I mean, Joe, with the results last Saturday and some of the planned fights with other heavyweights, in terms of the current heavyweight landscape, where do you see yourself in there at the moment?
Well, I see myself as picking the right fights, and I'm just edging my way up into that the top heavyweights of the UK and the world.
For sure, and obviously I think this past week, Joe, there's been a lot of talks about maybe Tyson Fury fighting Wilder, Tyson Fury maybe fighting BELLEW. What's your opinion on those talks? I mean, do you feel as though those fights might actually happen this year?
Yeah, I think that the Tyson Fury Wilder will be a massive fight, and I think is that not close to being made? Or?
Yeah, well, I mean, we actually spoke to Frank Warren on Wednesday at the press conference he had in London. He said that it's very close to happening this year.
Yeah, that's a massive fight, and I honestly don't know who would win that fight. It's obviously Wilder's got the equaliser, and Fury's very elusive, and it's going to be a fight because they both got like unorthodox styles, and it'd be a really good one to watch, and it would shake things up as well depending on who wins.
Yeah, of course it certainly will. I mean, but one thing I also want to ask you is that, let's say, I mean, obviously Wilder fought Ortiz last. I mean, he hasn't fought since March, Joe. But I mean, let's say, Wilder's team come to you and they propose the Wilder fight to you as a voluntary defence. Would you be interested in taking that fight with Deontay Wilder at such an early stage in your pro career?
Well, it depends, yeah. Depends on the person and if it makes sense. But, yeah, I'm game to fight anybody. Obviously, making sure I'm making the right moves at the right time.
Yeah, of course, definitely, absolutely. And in terms of, obviously, your next opponent, Joe, I know you fought in June. In fact, to be fair, you had a pretty quick turnaround from when you beat Leroy Thomas. I mean, you won the Commonwealth Heavyweight title, then you fought literally about 5 weeks later again at York Hall. So it was a very quick turnaround for you. So I mean, is there any sort of news about your next opponent? Anyone who you want to fight next in particular?
Well, yeah, this year's been quite. I've been really active. I've I've had fights after fights, and had a little break and rest, and then I'm looking to fight again in September, and possibly another defence of the Commonwealth title, and maybe potentially another title or a smart fight to get me up in the rankings.
Definitely, and obviously, in terms of having someone like David Haye as well beside you, I know obviously he's your mentor, but I mean, how sort of helpful and influential is it having someone like David, in your team in order to help you, maneuver your path in this, stacked heavyweight scene at the moment, Joe?
Yeah, it's obviously good. He's got a good boxing brain, and he's obviously been there and done that. And also my team, my management team are also quite clued up in guiding my path on the way forward. So hopefully we'll be able to make the right move to further my career and get to the next stage.
Absolutely, and obviously, I mentioned to you just there. Obviously, I know we all know Anthony Joshua's penciled in to fight Povetkin in September, but I mean, he's also got Wembley booked again for April next year. I mean, could a potential fight with AJ Joe maybe happen next year in 2019? Do you think that's a possibility?
Yeah, it could be a possibility. Anything's a possibility. It depends at what stage I get by the end of the year, and how far I've moved along to be able to get like an opportunity to at that level.
For sure, but I mean, obviously next year, I know there's only 4 months left of the year, but I mean, surely next year for you have even more high ambitions for yourself. I mean, are you hoping to fight for a world title next year if you could?
Yeah, well, within the next 18 months, I think I'll be ready for that.
Great, and obviously, one other thing, Joe, I want to ask is obviously your opponent in the Olympic Games final, Tony Yoka. This came out recently, Joe, that he recently failed a drugs test. What was your reaction when you heard that Tony Yoka failed his drugs test?
Well, I don't know how he missed like 4 tests in a row, because I thought, with the UK, My Adams anti-doping, it's 3 strikes and you're out, 2-year ban. But I don't know what happened there. But then obviously he confirmed it. So bro.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And obviously, finally now, Joe, what's your final words for the Joe Joyce fans, and obviously, what's your ambitions for the rest of 2018?
Well, I want to get another 2-3 fights, and you know, just support my journey, and you know, it means a lot. You know, very appreciative of the fans that follow, and you know, have hope for me to succeed, and you know, I want to deliver big fights and big exciting fights.
Absolutely. Sorry, Joe, one more final one. I know you've already captured the Commonwealth heavyweight title, but I mean, is the British title hopefully on the horizon for you as well sometime soon?
Yeah, I hear it's being vacated by Fury, so hopefully maybe one of my defences I can challenge for the British title in the same fight.
Oh, of course, absolutely, absolutely, sounds good. Well, I mean, as you say, Joe, all the best with your fight in September. Hopefully we hear an announcement soon, and you know, obviously I know you have a bright start tomorrow, 6 AM training, so all the best for training, and thanks very much for your time for PSP Sports, Joe.
No worries. Thanks.
Take care, thank you.